Welcome to Tuesday, Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's almost noon. Uh, yes, my job changed 3 times before the night was over last night. And then it ended on this one, which I like this one. This one is good. It's better than the others. They were going to have me. It was a big string of command that was going to be to all I needed to do was drive to the rental place that has some roll-offs, pick up one of those roll-offs, and drive it to the other side of the street. And I am not kidding. It's an eighth of a mile, maybe. Not even an eighth of a mile. It's a 16th of a mile. Moving moving a container from one place to another, but we were contracted by another company that contracted a different company to get us. I don't understand. I don't know. But it was super dumb, and it was going to take about 5 minutes to do, and that was not looking good for me, um, because I need hours. I need a job that's going to take longer than that. So they told me I needed to call a bunch of people and make sure the container was going to be ready. And it's like, that's what they do. They have hundreds of containers. And they wanted me to call to make sure there was going to be one available tomorrow. I'm like, there's going to be one. And they're like, well, you should call. Then there is no phone number for that company. It's a weird that there's a rental company that rents out dumpsters, and there is no phone number on Google. There's no way to get a hold of them. But luckily, I met one of the drivers once, and I needed to get his number because we were hauling frac tanks a long time back going to Dyson. Um, so I had his number, so I call him, and then he's like, I ain't in sales, bud. I'm like, I know you're not in sales, but you are affiliated with the company that I need to talk to. Do you have anybody else's number? And he did. So I got the number to the guy. And then I called the guy, and then he did not answer twice, nor a text message until about 7 o'clock last night. He said, hey, what's going on? I'm like, what do you mean what's going on? Why would you respond to me so late? What kind of business you running over there, bud? They close at 3:30. He texted me at 7. He's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, well, listen, I there's still going to be a job happening. I'm not doing it anymore. By 7:30, I knew that I was not going to be doing that job anymore. So I said, somebody else from my company is going to be coming over there to grab a dumpster. Just want to make sure it's ready. Say, yeah, that's all we do. I'm like, I understand. I understand, sir. So, anyways, my boss. He just sent me a pin drop and then a phone number, and he said, "Be there or be square." And I said, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean?" Um, so, anyways, I didn't even look up the pin drop. I was just like, okay, whatever. It's a pin drop and somebody's name and number. Cool. Figure it out in the morning. And then he called me, so I answered it, like I always do. And he said, hey, you're going to need to leave early because you need to be at the dump site by 3 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, hold on. What am I even doing? He's like, did you look at where you're going tomorrow? I was like, no. It was, right over there. It's kind of like the St. Louis run, but from Kansas City, which is the entire state. I'm coming from Kansas. So, yeah, I'm going almost the entire state wide. He said there's not much liquid, but just suck what you can and then get out of there. I'm like, okay, what is the liquid? And he wouldn't respond. I don't know why. He just said everything will be figured out for you tomorrow. I'm like, I'd like to know now. He said, just leave early so you can make it back. So I did the pin drop, and it was like a 3.5 hour drive, but that's from my house. So because I don't know, it takes a couple more button clicks to make it to figure out how long it's going to be from our shop and what route I'd want, because I like taking 36 instead of I-70. And that's what I'm doing today. I did that today. I took 36. Well, I got in, I woke up extra early, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up extra early again. I said, all right, I'm getting up. And then I went back to sleep. And then and then my son came out, and he's like, I pissed my fucking shorts. I'm like, oh no. Put on new shorts, go back to bed. Sleep in a different spot, is what I told him. So, and then I was like, all right, I got to get up. So I went ahead and got up. I was up, and I was at the shop by 6 o'clock in the morning, which is still really good. I was like, if he says wake up and get there early, that means 6 o'clock. It doesn't mean anything else. Had I have known what today was going to hold, I would have been up in there, the first time. But that didn't work out. So whatever. Fuck it. I got to the shop at 6. I was gone by 6:20. I drove all the way out here. I called the guy. He was still in bed. I said, yo, this is Kevin from Kansas City. I'm going to be headed out to your job site. I should be there around 10. And then that was about it for the conversation. And I hopped into my truck, and I hit the fucking road. I got there at 10:37. So I was 37 minutes late. I had to stop for fuel. Oh, fuck me. So anyways, motherfucker. I just got a text message from my boss because I texted him. We'll get into that in a second. I called him whenever I got done. So I pulled up to this job site. It's on the side of a rural, hilly road, windy, in the middle of the woods, that pops up into, it's not even a town. It's just like a little street. So I get there, and I took 36 up because it's just a simpler route. And then that shit happened. I got there. They had the tank. It was in the ground. It was a small tank. It was like 500-gallon in-ground tank on the side of the road that was buried about 4 feet down in the ground. And I'm like, what is this? They're like, it's a tank. I'm like, okay, but what is the intended purpose for this tank? They were like, it was to hold gasoline. I'm like, okay, so this is a hazardous load. They're like, kind of. It's mainly water. I'm like, doesn't matter what it actually is. Matters what the fuck, what's the paperwork say? He's like, oh, I got paperwork. I'm like, okay, good. Good that you have paperwork. So I sucked out the tank, and he's like, hey, we also have a barrel. I'm like, okay, where's the barrel? He's like, it's in that trailer up on the hill down the road. I'm like, okay, well, let me suck this tank out, and then I'll head over there. He's like, no, we're going to drive it to you. And I'm like, okay, well, you've got 3 guys sitting here. How about one of you go get the fucking barrel? This is not taking very long. I threw a 2-inch hose in the hole, and we sucked it down, and then there happened to be a hole in the tank that was leaching water. Water, I'm sure gasoline was leaching into the soil, and I'm sure water was leaching into the gasoline. Not sure, but I said, I think we're at the water table here, because there's a steady little stream. It's not a lot. It's just a little bit of water coming into the tank. So I sucked the tank dry, and then 10 seconds later, there's a little puddle there. And so we were sucking on that, and then the guys wanted to like suck all the rocks and bullshit that they dropped down in the tank and everything. Not a big deal, whatever. So they finally get the barrel and the trailer brought over, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't have keys for this fucking trailer, and we locked it last night." I'm like, can somebody get this shit going? And then I'm like, all right. And then they grab the hose, and then they start sucking the barrel after they found the keys and everything. And I'm like, all right, where's the paperwork? He's like, oh, it's in my truck. I'm like, where is your fucking truck? I've got a place to be today. I got to get the shit offloaded. He's like, oh, yeah, it's in my truck. Let me go get it. I'm like, no, I'm going to follow you. So I follow him over there, and then he's like messing around on his phone, taking pictures of this, filling out the paper. I'm like, you don't have it filled out yet? What the fuck, man? I'm like, I'll fill it out. I'm the one driving this shit. Um, Anyways, we got the paperwork, got in the truck, and I hit the fucking road, and I just typed in, like, our shop, because I have a little button on my maps that I can just click, and it'll take me to my shop, and the Magellan, or, I shouldn't have said that, but the place that I'm going to offload this waste, it's just a disposal facility. I guess I could say that. It's a disposal facility. They leave at 3:30 apparently. And I get in and I type in our shop, and it says I'll be at my shop at 3:08. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't be going 36 on the way home, because that adds 15-20 minutes to my route. And then I call my boss, and I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? These guys took for fucking ever to do anything. I was like, I barely even got 500 gallons on my truck, and they took forever to get things going. Like, there was a barrel, they had to get the barrel brought over, and they didn't want to just drive it over. They wanted to back the trailer through the construction site, through the cones and everything, back it right into the middle of. I'm like, it would have been way faster for me to just throw my hose in my side box and fucking turn around and drive over there. But they had to fucking do all this crazy bullshit, and then they took forever to get the paperwork. Anyways, it's going to take. I said, what way do you want me to go? Do you want me to go I-70 or 36? He said, 36 is always better. I'm like, I know. But according to my GPS, it's not going to be good enough. He's like, well, go whichever way you want to go. I'm like, okay, well, what time? He's like, I got to go. And then he got off the phone. And then I immediately texted him. I said, 36 adds 15 minutes. That means I'll be there by 3:20. Is that going to be okay? And then he never responded, but I went ahead and left that in my GPS because that's the way I'd rather go. I'd much rather go that way. And then right as I passed the exit that I needed to take to head towards I-70, he texted me and he said no, and that's why I said, "Oh, motherfucker," or whatever I said. Sounds like that's what I probably would have said at that point in time, just a few minutes ago. So now I am headed. I had to do a UE on the highway, and now I'm on Highway 54 West, headed to J. But I think I'm going to stay on 54. I don't know. The GPS, I'll figure out whenever I get there. I'm going through a little town. I just went through Bowling Green. I thought that was in Kentucky. Am I near Kentucky? I don't think so. But, yeah, my boss, he also said, just speed a little bit. I'm like, okay. Okay, I'll do that. That sounds like a good idea. Just speed a little bit. And yeah, the town that I was in, I don't even remember what the town was. P something, I don't know. But it was there's not a good way to get in there. And there's not a good way to get out. I mean, there's okay ways to go, but it's all 2-lane blacktops. I did take 61 there for a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, this is what's going on today. This is my Tuesday. It says I'm going to be there by 3:09. So that little UE that I did only took about a minute. And I shaved 5 minutes off of my time on the way out here by going about 5 over the whole time. So I'm thinking I can shave another couple of minutes off as long as I don't hit traffic on I-70, guys. Now that's the problem, is that I'm going to be going through I-70 traffic at 3:09. That's not good. Not going to be good. And I know that there's two scales in between Kansas City and St. Louis. I'm pretty sure the way that I'm going here, I'm going to pop out after the scale, the more eastern side scale. But I'm definitely going to be going through the westbound scale, westbound I-70 scale. The eastbound one, or the east side scale, I I've never been in there. It's always been closed. It's like in a really busy area. It's like in an area. Like most scales that you're gonna hit are gonna be in like the middle of nowhere or just like a very like rural area. Curryville. They must love curry out here. I don't know. Luckily, I already fueled up my tank, so I shouldn't have to stop on my way back. The problem is I didn't drain my tank when I stopped. I should have taken a piss at some point in time. Um, but luckily, I don't have any water. I have no water. So that's been awesome. I had a cup of coffee this morning, and it's been long gone. It was actually a delicious cup of coffee I made at work. I'm out of coffee at my house, which kind of blows. I like having 2 cups of coffee. I like having a on my way to work coffee and then chug whatever I have left of it and then have a work coffee. Because at work, we have a Keurig and we have a bunch of different varieties of coffees and creamers and all kinds of stuff. And there's somebody buys some delicious honey and leaves it out there for everybody to use. And I think honey is a good way to sweeten up your coffee. I'm still on the sugar, y'all. And I have a horrible feeling that tonight I may find myself at a tea store. I really don't want to. Just kidding. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really want that tea. I've felt like something's been missing out of my life since I've run out of tea. The empty jug that was set on the counter after it was gone, I just threw it away last night, and I'm like, gosh dang, I wish I had more. And my lovely wife, my wife that I love, the best person in my life, for the last going on 9 years. We're almost at 9 years married, 10 years together. We dated for like a year and a half, roughly, less than a year and a half. Then we got married. She's been my rock. You know what she says to me when I say, "Man, I wish I had more tea." She says, "Go get some." Oh my gosh, that's my baby right there. That's my lovely wife. You guys probably think I talk a lot of shit on my wife. I love that woman with all of my heart. She is so awesome. Uh, she still does things in the bedroom that I very appreciate. And I have a rusty truck that has been bleeding our bank account. I'm just kidding. It hasn't. The eating out and shit has been bleeding our bank account, mainly. The truck is definitely, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice to have another $130, but that would be gone quick. That's not like a life-changing amount of money. $130. Let me have the $130. Okay, I'm working all this overtime. Let me have it, and I get it. Okay. Um, so, anyways, that's my segue into I'm probably gonna get some tea tonight because it only costs like $4 for a fucking jug of delicious almond sweet tea. It's so good, so good. Now that I think about it, whenever I got my tea, the guy gave me a receipt, but I never. Well, I think he used it. I think he put my points on there. He better put my fucking points on there, okay? Because I need some tea points. That tea is so damn good. This route that I'm going, I thought this was going to be jagged through the woods, and this is actually not bad. I'm sustaining about 60 to 65 miles an hour. Well, I just hit the fucking rumbles, but um, it seems like a nice little drive. I got a little Kia behind me, keeping good distance. Uh, this is not bad. This is not bad so far. And my T thing just sent me something. HTO, you're 29 drips away from unlocking your next reward, redeemable reward. Interesting. Thanks for reminding me. And my boss says the sooner the better. So I don't know. I keep hitting the fucking rumble strips. I need to fucking focus. Um, yeah, last night I got off of work. I got off of work pretty early, actually. I recorded something last night on my way home. I did. Yes, I did. Because that's what I posted today. Today is Tuesday, and that's what you guys got in the morning. Yeah, the Spotify for Podcasters app, the one that I use to post all these episodes and everything, is a little fucky right now. I don't know what the hell's going on, but whenever I hit upload, I used to be able to hit upload and I could type in the title, I could type in the description, I could say yes to explicit content, I could say no to promotionals, I could say yes to comments, and then once the episode has been uploaded fully, I can hit schedule or publish, whatever. But for some reason, the first 15 times you type in the title box, it erases what you put in there. You type in 200, because I'm on episode 200 and, I don't know, 13 today. I don't know what it is. But I type it in, and then it erases it. And then I type it in again, and it erases it. And then I type it in, and it stays, and I'm like, okay. And then I finish writing out the title, and then I scroll down, and I scroll back up, the title's fucking gone. I'm like, what the fuck, you fucking fuckhead? It's like, oh, you can't publish this until you put a title in. It's like, I had a title in here, you fucking bitch. So I don't know what happened to the app, but it's really annoying whenever I'm driving into work and I'm trying to post a fucking episode. Because although basically hard work is done by that time, um, but yeah, it's just a pain in the fucking ass. Pain in the ass. But I get them posted up. Um, the rate. This is a little bit political. It's all political about what I'm about to say because that's what I'm talking about is the political opponents. It is so strange to see some Harry Ball posters up. I mean Harris Waltz. I think of Harry Balls every time I see those. Harris Walls. Uh, I see those up in some of the strangest places, and I'm like, the places that I've been, I feel like people are gonna kneel down to pray to the Trump Vance posters, and they're gonna fucking. I mean, the guy they would not. I don't think they do it. I don't think the Trump voters, are gonna go tear down the Harry Ball posters. Um, they're just not gonna do it. But they pop up. They're all over the fucking place, and I have a feeling that and people respect each other's property around where I'm at right now. But I see these Harris Walls stuff all over the fucking place. And I'm like, there's ain't no way this community, there's a square body, a short bed, 2-wheel drive, white, rusty square body. There ain't no way that square body person, I mean, there is a way they could accidentally vote for Harry Walls, Harry Balls. But I am almost certain most of these people are Trump fans. My neighborhood is that's the only signs you're seeing is Trump signs, Trump flags. Uh, People just all the time. You know, you can't even go to the bank without somebody being like, how about that fucking Trump? And he's pretty fucking sweet. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I'm just kidding. I don't go to the fucking bank, but I imagine that happens quite a bit. You know, there's little diners and stuff all over the place, and in every little diner, there's somebody in there propping up the Trump dog, and somebody, complaining with vigor, complaining with that's not a good word, complaining with passion about the Kamala Harry balls. Harry balls. I can't stop saying Harry balls. That's just what it is. These people riding bikes, they're for Trump. You could just tell by looking at them the way that they are. It says truck route next 500 feet. What does that mean? What does that mean? What happens at 501 feet? That just came out of no. I feel like I've been on a truck route this entire time. This has not been a truck route. This is like a major road. And if I didn't have to be somewhere in a very small amount of time, I would stop over here and I'd get something to eat and something to drink because I am parched and hungry. But not for me today. Don't get that today. No way. You're not getting anything today, Cletus Ray. You gotta fucking just starve. Let your stomach eat your fat, you fat ass. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to me. My stomach is currently eating. It's like I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat something, and so I'm losing weight. It's working ish. Um, yeah, I did this morning when I woke up extra early and I walked into the kitchen and my wife made brownies last night. I took a little fork and I took a little bite of that brownie. Part of me is like, am I falling off the wagon? I think I'm falling off the wagon. I was so strict and I started to cheat a little here, a little there, and then I didn't. I thought I was done cheating, but then somebody laid down a box of fucking delicious chicken gizzards from Go Chicken Go with the delicious salsa right in front of me, and they said, "Finish this off." What is a man supposed to do? How am I? I love gizzards. Gizzards are amazing. Am I going to sit there and be a bitch and pick off all the breading? No. I'm going to dip that sucker in that salsa and I'm going to eat it like a man. Um, but I don't know. Something's got to happen. Something's got to happen. I need to have steaks on hand. for these times whenever I'm like slipping, all I got to do is say in about 7.5 minutes, I could have the most delicious steak fried up and eat it. Look at that shirtless guy. He is not voting for Kamala. He ain't doing it. Oh, I'm going under the speed limit. I gotta keep it up. Oh, it says I'll be there at 309. Wait, I think it's always said that. So yeah, I don't know. What brought that up is there was somebody had bought the big billboard. In I don't know. There's a big, like, pretty big billboard, probably like a 15-foot by 20-foot billboard, and it said Harry Balls on it. I mean Harris Walls on it, and I'm just like, that you're doing that just to fuel up. The people see that and they're like, I'm definitely voting for Trump. I know people are so passionate. They're like, here's a sign. It says Jesus saves. Do you know what that translates to? Trump for president. Uh, yeah, out here, that is what it means. Jesus saves means I'm voting for Trump. But yeah, my neighbor, he put up a flag on his house, and uh, I guess there. So my wife saw that, obviously she saw the flag. She doesn't give a shit about politics at all. She doesn't give a fuck. She is a Swiftie, and apparently Taylor Swift is endorsing the Kamala, and Donald Trump apparently put out a tweet that said, I hate Taylor Swift. Okay, well, that's your personal taste, man. I don't know. But now, I don't know. He's trying to get all the Swifties off of the Trump train, or I don't know what's going on. This is a wild time. And anyways, my wife had saw a post on Facebook. A lady, she wanted to talk to me about it. She said this lady, her husband is a huge Trump fan, and he wants to put a flag up on their house, and she's saying she is actually going to vote for Kamala. So it's a divided household. Already starting out not so good. I mean, hey, more power. If you guys can actually get along like that, more power to you. But I feel like if you're going to say that you like this candidate or you like this candidate, that means you absolutely hate the other candidate and all the people associated with that side. So if there's an actual married couple that have a strong, nice relationship, and she sucks his cock and he flicks her bean, and they can live together in the same house and raise children and go to work and save money and do what they got to do, um, and they're separate politically, that's amazing. Um, but anyway, she said, I don't want that flag on my house, not because I want to stifle his right to talk about what he likes, but because I'm worried that my house is going to get egged, or people are going to come over and try to beat me up or stab me. And that's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? The people that you, the only people that would do that are the people that you are voting for. The people that support your candidate, which is an interesting concept. The people that or the person that I'm voting for, that I'm a fan of, that all these other people are a fan of, are going to come to my house and burn it down if you hang that flag up. That's how she feels. It's like, why would you? Maybe you need to take a little step back and look at the demographic of that, you know? Maybe just take a step back and look at that. Say, holy shit, if I vote for her, that means we can just go looting. Apparently, I don't know. I have no idea. We can just burn down Trump houses, and that's okay. That not really. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of dumb ass Trump voters. I am with you. I'm with you on that. There's a lot of dummies out there that hopped up on the Trump train, but they don't know anything. They just think it's really cool, and it's the red, white, and blue with the American flag, and of course it's the train. They got the little train image there, and they got somebody AI imaged Donald Trump holding the flag, riding a fucking dragon or something, or an eagle, and yet that looks badass. That looks badass. I'm going for that guy. If that's the only reason you're going, you're not smart. We do appreciate your vote, but you're just not a smart person, which is fine. Not everybody has to be smart. Where in the laws does it say you got to be smart? But that's on the other side too. People are just like, Donald Trump is racist. Please, in the comment section of this episode, please show me exactly where. Show me the comments. Show me everything's on video, right? You got it on video. You got it on. You take a screenshot of his Twitter or whatever the fuck it is, Truth Social, which is kind of funny, but whatever. Uh, Show me the evidence of him being racist, other than just people saying that he's racist, because I don't think he is. I really don't think he is. I think he's a pretty cool guy. I don't think he's against anybody. And of course, if you ask him that, I don't know anybody that would say, "Oh yeah, I fucking hate the blanks," whatever that might be to you. But yeah, I don't know. People, they just come up with all these accusations, this and that. He's a felon. Hold up, hold up. Let's talk about him being a felon. Let's talk about how the Democratic committee is really not happy with him, and they are doing everything in their power. They are throwing every law they can. They're throwing shit at the fucking board, and finally, some little sliver of light stuck. And it's what did he do? What did he do? He's yeah, okay. Well, running over a mailbox is also kind of a felony, or like opening up somebody else's mail. Like, I don't know. The what he's charged with is not like fucking murder. It's Margo Cargo Largo is worth a lot more than what they're saying it's worth. And that's what they're trying. They're getting him for overvaluing his company. I don't know. I actually haven't been listening to the news a whole lot lately. I just see these signs, and it gets my brain a little fired up. So, anyways, if you want to vote for Kamala, happy to have you here. I would like to know why. I'd like to, whenever she becomes president, what is she going to do that she can't do right now? Who's the president right now? Is it still Joe Biden? He's like, yeah, everybody knew that you weren't physically fit to run for president. You're a fucking loose cannon. You don't know where you're at half of the time. And then you go and you do the fucking thing with Trump, the debate, and then everybody on the Joe Biden side that everybody's been saying he's He's more fit than he's been in years, or whatever they're saying. He's as sharp as a tack. They're all like, oh wait, shit. No, he's not sharp as a tack. And then they overnight just basically they're like, yeah, we're all gonna actually vote for Kamala now. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, for sure, Kamala. You remember Kamala? She's the good one. She's the good one. She's the one that we've been waiting for. Like, she's been there. Nobody's heard anything out of her. They're like, she's in charge of the border wall or border stuff. And they're like, have you been down to the border yet? And she's like, I haven't been to France. What does that have to do with anything? Why do I gotta be there? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe that you're the fucking. That's like your one job. I don't know. It's fucking dumb, dude. And to be honest, I'm voting for Trump, but it's not because I think Trump is the best person to do it. It's I like his cabinet. I like the people that he is bringing on. RFK Jr. He is going to. I hope so. I hope that he has enough power that he can fix some of this bullshit going on with the food. Tulsi Gabbard, I don't know what she's going to do, but she's going to do something good because I like her a lot and she's hot. Um, she's cool. She was a Democrat. She was running to be a Democrat, and I don't know. There's a slew of other people. Now the JD Vance guy, I don't know much about him. He's got some redneckology fucking movie or book or something. I don't know. Sounds kind of fucking cheesy to me. And I see him and I'm just like, all right. I mean, it could be worse, I guess. I don't know this guy. Like, why this guy? But so far so good, I guess. I don't know. It would have been cool for him to appoint somebody that I knew, but because I mean, it's not like I'm not sitting here watching the news every single day. I don't know everybody. I don't know what's exactly going on, but I feel like I watch it more often than some people. So, and I feel like I should have known about JD Vance apparently if he was that interesting to Trump. Uh, but whatever. Sure, Vance, Trump Vance. Sounds like a strong name. All right, works out. I used to work with a guy. Well, he actually hired me at the first time when I got to the lumber. Whenever I was hauling, or well, I was a forklift operator for the lumber yard. I had my CDL permit, Class A permit, and I would just drove around a bunch of different companies that had trucks. And I was throwing in an application. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to be a driver. If you help me get my license, I will be a good guy for you. And the lumberyard was very interested. And they said, yeah, we'll get you your CDL. I said, you will? And they're like, yeah. But in the meantime, we really do need somebody to run a forklift. I'm like, oh, okay. And then my permit expired, and I'm like, hey, like this is well, before it expired, I'm like, hello, this is expiring soon. Should I go renew it, or are we gonna like? Hey, this was like a year into it. I'm like, is something gonna happen here for me? And he's like, nah, bruh. And his name was Lance. So I'm drawing a very broad stroke over here from Vance to Lance, I guess. And it doesn't affect my feelings towards JD Vance. What's JD stand for? Fucking jerk dick? I don't know. He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, but I'm just making fun of you, JD Vance. You're never gonna hear this, and if you do, no, I'm on your side, buddy. Redneckology. Sounds fucking gay, but it's apparently it's kind of cool. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. So, this guy hired me on, and then he stuck me over into the gravel pit called the South Yard, but it was with a cool guy named Bill. And so I'm over there with Bill and Roy, and then John. I don't know his name. I forget his name. Another little guy. Um, Roy was a very tall black man. The other guy, John, I don't fucking know what his name was, but he was a short little Marine veteran, but he was annoying as fuck. But he was cool ish. Not really. He was annoying as fuck. Let me just say that again. He was really annoying. Uh, but I mean, I like the Marines, but I don't. Anyways, and then Bill was really cool. I didn't find out until years later that everything other than like work, well, even work stuff, I was mainly lied to by Bill the whole time. He was just a pathological liar the entire time. I'll give you some examples here in a second. Roy was a really cool dude. He was chill as fuck. He drove a Cadillac. I watched this dude about fucking blow his fucking head apart. But he was driving up to the rail because we had a rail spur coming into the yard, and they would bring in rail cars full of lumber, and we would unload the rail cars. And Roy was hauling ass with his forks just a little bit too low. And he nailed the railroad track and flew, and he was laying in between the mast and the forklift. He went through what would have been a windshield. There was no windshield, but the area where the windshield would have been, he went through that. And that's not fun. Like, he got a little fucked up from that. But he was also really cool. Um, don't don't know what he's doing anymore. He got drug tested, and he got canned. So, and then the other little short dude, I don't know. He quit, I think. And then Bill ended up pursuing with his line. He got to be top dog. He's a cool guy. Don't get me wrong. He was a cool guy. But he got to be top dog. Well, not top dog, but he got to be like an operational manager of the whole branch versus just the South Yard. And then I was there by myself. Like, all these people left, and I was there by myself, and they would hire a new guy and stick him over there with me, and they didn't work out. And then there was one guy that just really didn't work out. He was such a lazy fuck. So one day he just showed up over there. They got so ticked off at his laziness, they just sent him over to me because I was getting all of the work done. I was still getting all of the orders. It was a little later than they would have wanted, but I was still getting all the orders packaged, cut down, picked up, trains unloaded, all that shit by myself for a long time. And I was like, yo, like, can I be the fucking ops manager over here? And they're like, fuck no, fuck you, you fucking bitch. You are a fucking piece of shit. You don't get nothing. I'm like, what did I do to receive this amount of treatment? Like, am I not doing a good job by myself? Like, you keep sending me these fucking fuckheads, and most of them, well, I don't know, at least this one of them, he came over, and that's the last place he worked with our company. He came over, and I'm like, the Lance guy, he came over, he's like, hey, fuckhead, how you doing? I'm like, I'm struggling because the one guy you brought me, it's faster for me to just do all the orders while he sits in the trailer, because if I give him the orders, I'm done with my orders and I got to go over there and start helping him with his, but he just slows me down. And I've trained him to the max that I can train him. He just is like, he does not give a fuck. He sits on his forklift, he goes to his car, he goes in the trailer, he goes in to take a shit. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about this job. And he's like, okay, well, let's fire him. So he called him in there to the office, and he just fired him right there on the. And it's kind of funny how he fired him. He's like, "Hey man, it's not working out." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he just walked out, got in his car, and drove away. And I'm like, "Okay, well, I think he took all the work orders with him, which is not cool. So now we got to figure. I need to retype up all these work orders and get out there and fucking get these pulled, because the truck drivers are going to be pissed off when they come over here to pick up a load and it's not ready yet. I'm by myself again." And then they brought in this other dude. This dude, Lance knew this dude. I remember his name, Aaron. I don't remember his last name, but he was such a dumb fuck. This guy was so goddamn dumb, and he seemed like another one. They were just like tired of dealing with his shit over at the other yard. They hired him. It was Lance's buddy, so they couldn't really fire him, or they could, but they didn't want to. And he seemed like a guy that had a little common sense, knew a little bit about something. And they sent him over, and he's like, "Hey, I'm running this show. Get the fuck out. Do this. Go do that. I'm gonna write up all the build sheets now, and this and that." I'm like, "Whoa, all right." This fucking guy just came over and took over the entire operation. You don't even know what this wood is yet. You don't know what an LVL is versus rim board. You don't know the 70 series I-joist. You don't know shit, dude. You don't know shit about any of this stuff, and you're just going to come over here and take it over? Okay, we'll see how this works. And he blamed all the shit on me. I went in there one day because I had a work order, and he went through and did an inventory, and the inventory was not correct. It was not correct at all. And then uh, he would like write up these cut sheets, and then he would hide them. And then he'd be pissed off that I didn't find the hidden cut sheets. Like, they're on my desk. I'm like, there's a lot of fucking shit on your desk, bud. I don't know what any of that shit is. I'm not fucking with your shit. And anyways, I'm out there one day with one of his cut sheets, because I used to write up all my own cut sheets. It took a long time to do, but I actually kind of enjoyed figuring out how to cut. All right, I'm gonna grab a 52. I'm gonna cut one down into a 32 and one down into a 20, and that's gonna cover this. I'm gonna grab a 16, and that's gonna be my 2/8. And and some of them you didn't have to cut down, but you would label it, or you would write it down on the paperwork, and that it's like, all right, so whenever the guys that are building whatever this structure may end up being, they're going to get this pack, but it's shrunk down. It's not going to be 18 4-footers. It's going to be a whatever the fuck footer. Or 3 of them are going to be on this and 4 of them are going to be on that, and you just because our inventory, that's how it was. Sometimes we're short on this and short on that, or it's just easier to do a 32 footer instead of 2 16s, because that's going to make the pack a little bit too wide. Anyways, so he gave me a cut sheet, and I go out there and I do all the cuts, and then I go to get because he wouldn't give me everything all at once. I would usually have the paperwork of what the customer wants, and then I would have a cut sheet also. But he would give me the cut sheet. He'd say, "Go out there and make these cuts." So I go out there. I'm using the big fucking saw to cut an entire 4-foot wide pack of I-joist or whatever. And I'm just chopping it down and chopping this down, going over there doing this, and and I go in there, and then he's like, "Here's your work order," and I take the work order, and I'm like, "Hey man, where are the fucking 10-footers that I was supposed to have?" And he's like, "You're supposed to make the cuts," and I'm like, "I made all the cuts. I put a check mark on every one as I made the cuts. Show me where the 10-footers are on that." And he couldn't find it, so I go in there. And I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't account for the 10-footers anywhere on this paper." He's like, "Yes, I did. You must have fucking did something." I'm like, "Dude, there's no fucking way I can fucking redo your handwriting to fuck this up. And why would I fuck this? I don't want to be in here fucking with your bitch ass. You're a fucking douchebag." Anyways, yeah, too much shit started getting fucked up over there, and I ended up transferring over to the main yard at some point in time. I think I went back and forth a couple of times. Um, and then I was over at the main yard, and it was so much easier over there. That's where I met a bunch of friends, lifelong friends now. And, I went through all the different departments. I did have trouble with the sheet good department because Naughty Alder, A4, blah, 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 one side UV, blah, blah. I'm like, I fucked up a little bit on the sheet goods stuff. They're like, this is supposed to be a one side UV. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I don't. I didn't. I worked over there, but I didn't really like stock the shelves. I didn't mark the shelves. That there's supposed to be some sort of a program to where you knew what was going to be there and everything. And for some reason, I just couldn't get a grasp on all of that shit because everything was so similar. Everything is so different, but so similar, and it was very annoying. There's a van on the side of the road with somebody's with their feet out, and then this dude walking, looking for signal. Poor guy. Now it says I'm going to be at a 312. That's not good. This is not good. I'm betting you by the time I get there, it would have been way faster to go 36 because the traffic is going to be insane. So, yeah, I don't know. They moved that guy around. They moved him over to what we called the West Yard. They bought another company called Robertson Dibdall, and they took one of the guys from over there and stuck him and replaced him at the South Yard for me, and they took this fucking crazy lunatic and stuck him over there with those guys. And they had him running that shop. And his first order of business was to tear down part of the office and then build a new office because he was top dog over there and he had to have his own corner office. He couldn't just have a desk out there with everybody else. There was like 4 or 5 other people in that office. He had to have his own closed off office so he could have private phone calls, blah, 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 what the fuck ever. He ended up wasting a bunch of fucking money. He pissed off everybody over there. He would always come in there slamming his clipboard, breaking shit, yelling at people, and it's just like, dude, you are fucking dumb. You're so dumb, and that's why you're mad. Because you're super duper dumb. You dumb fuck. How are you so dumb? You you're super duper dumb. These are words that I would use. You know, the dude is so dumb. I'm trying to let you guys know how dumb he is. He's super dumb. Dumbass dude. Like so they couldn't stand him over there and he ended up getting fired or maybe he quit. I don't know. Maybe they paid him to fucking quit. I'm not sure. But Lance's buddy was eventually gone. So now I'm over there at the other yard. This is before they hated that guy a whole bunch. And they just send over this dude, Matt. And he's like, hey, guys, I'm going to be kind of running the show over here. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I've heard that before, and that didn't go well at all. And he's like, did they not tell you who I am or what I'm doing? I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck you are, dude. He's like, oh, shit, well, I feel bad because I've heard a lot about you, that you've been kind of running this place by yourself for a while, and so I don't want to try to step on your toes. I thought they told you that I was going to come over here and run this place. I'm like, I haven't heard shit, okay? They tell me to fucking try to suck my own dick. That's all they tell me. They say, ain't nobody going to suck your dick except for you. So now I'm over here by myself I keep trying, and I just can't get it. I just can't get it. Anyways, he ended up being a really cool guy. like super fucking cool. I liked him a lot. He was out there working. The other guy was not out there. He would go out there and just start chopping shit and fucking cussing and yelling and then say, "Why the fuck did you make me do that?" I'm like, dude, you are so fucking dumb. But this dude knew what the fuck he was doing. And they had two big fucking forklifts that they transferred over to my yard. Because we had one big forklift that was kind of nice, but it had floating forks, so it was kind of a pain in the fucking ass to do. It would fuck you up quite a bit, but it helped me learn how to run a forklift, and it was electronic hydraulics, so there wasn't like slow movements. It was just like move, 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 up, down. There wasn't any like. I love the hydraulics. Anyways, they brought over two forklifts, and he said, "You know what? You're gonna get one of these." And I'm like, "Really?" And he gave me a forklift that was mine, basically. What the fuck is going on over here? And I love that forklift. I called it Shania Twain, and it was a badass forklift. It had like foot wide forks on it. It was kind of weird, and they were only like 3'10" wide long or whatever. So they were short, stubby, wide motherfuckers. But I would run the fuck out of that forklift. It was awesome. Um, and yeah, me and him became pretty good friends. He's now down in Texas. He transferred to our Texas location, uh, mainly because they were kind of pushing him out. They had made another merger with a different company, and they were like, "There ain't nothing for you here, but there's something for you down there if you want to go. If you don't want to go, here's a check." And he said, "I'll go." And so they gave him some money also, and they sent him down to Texas, and now he's running the branch down there. And there's several of the drivers that were up here kept saying they want to move down to Texas just to work for him because he was such a good boss. He would get a little upset here and there, but it was all understandable. And I was a little bit of a fuckhead. He would be stressed out because of orders and stuff. He'd be like, "Dude, I need you to go out there and get these orders done." I'm like, "Dude, I'll get them done." And he's like, "Dude, I really need you to just go now." I'm like, "Okay." And I'd go out there and I'd bust him out in, an hour or whatever, and then come back in. He's like, "What are you doing in here?" I'm like, "I got him done." He's like, "Okay." So he'd get pissed off because he didn't know how fast I could do shit. Um, and that never stopped. He would get so pissed off. He'd be like, "Dude, I need you to go do this." And I'm like, "Dude, I've looked it over, and it's not going to take me but 30 minutes to do this." And he's like, "You need to do it." I'm like, "Okay." And I'd go out there and do it, and then I'd come sit in the shop at the end. And it was just kind of a fun little bickering back and forth. We always got everything done. Nothing was wrong. Um, yeah, and his dad worked there for a long time. And that new company that bought out our company really turned his dad into a bitter old man. He was a pretty cool guy, chill. He was willing to help and everything, and then he turned into just a bitter old man. He started to hate everybody and hate everything. And even though like me and him had a different type of relationship because I would go over there and hang out with him, and just try to talk to him about something other than work, he would still. It was like he did not want to deal with anything I had, and I'm like, "Okay, we don't have to talk." Um, yeah. Anyways, the lumber yard was a fucking crazy place. There's so much crazy shit that happened. A lot of different people, a lot of different connections. If I didn't work at that lumber yard, I wouldn't have met my best friend or my wife. So, pretty much the two important people I have in my life outside of my immediate family came from that lumber yard. Now, my Florida boy buddy, he came from fucking second, third, something grade. Third grade, I think. Uh, so he's been there the whole time. But, anyways, I've been going on and on and on. And I hope it's been interesting for you. So we're going to go ahead and end this because I've got a JRE to listen to. I just listened to the one with Sean Ryan. It was a good one. I was hoping the whole thing wasn't going to be Joe sitting there talking the whole time because Sean was just like, oh yeah, yep, and I'm like, this Sean Ryan guy, he's got a show and I listen to it every now and again, but it's so like, it's like somebody dims the lights, somebody starts up like some suspenseful music, and it's just like dark drama, depressing. But it's like, I don't know, just his voice and the demeanor. It seems kind of like, I don't know. I'd rather just hear voices. But and it, I don't think he doesn't turn the lights down and he doesn't turn on suspenseful music on his podcast. It just seems like that, just the way his demeanor is. And I don't know. So I'll listen to his podcast every now and again, but I mainly stick to the JRE. And I haven't looked to see if there is one on there, but I believe there is one. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Keep all 18 down. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.